going to be talking about dividing integers. So yesterday we were talking about multiplying integers, and today we're going to use the same rules to divide integers as well. So let's go ahead and review those rules really quick. So when dividing and multiplying integers, you need to make sure to count the negative signs so you can see whether your answer is going to be positive or negative. If you have an even number of negative signs, your answer is going to be positive. So let's look at a few examples. Okay, the first example says negative 12 divided by negative 4. So I have 1 and 2 negative signs. And since 2 is an even number, our answer is going to be even. So we just go ahead and divide it out. So 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. Alright, in this example, we have negative 32 divided by negative 8. Now, whenever you see answers that are like a problem that looks like a fraction, this is actually dividing. So you're dividing negative 32 by negative 8. Now I have 1, 2 negative signs. So since 2 is a positive number, or 2 is an even number, our answer is going to be positive. So we just do 32 divided by 8 and we'll get 4. Alright, if you have an odd number of negative signs, your answer is going to be negative. So let's look at a few examples. If we have negative 36 divided by 3, our answer is going to be negative because we only have one negative sign in our problem. So then we would just divide. So 36 divided by 3 gives us 12, and our answer is negative 12. In this example, we have 16 divided by negative 4. Our answer is going to be negative because we only have one negative sign, and 1 is an odd number. So we just do 16 divided by 4, and our answer will be 4. And then we have to make sure we put a negative on it, so it's negative 4. Let's go ahead and do a few examples as practice. Alright, let's look at the first example. Our first example says negative 88 divided by 8. So let's go ahead and do our first step. Let's just go ahead and divide it, because we know you need to divide it. But then we'll need to figure out what sign it is, the answer is. So let's go ahead and do 88 divided by 8. Our answer is going to be 11. Now, is it going to be a positive 11 or negative 11? Let's count our negative signs. So in this problem, we only have one negative sign. And since 1 is an odd number, our answer is also going to be negative. Alright, let's look at example number 2. We have 70 divided by negative 7. So we need to go ahead and divide it. So we have 70 divided by 7, which gives us 10. Now, is our 10 going to be a positive 10 or a negative 10? We have one negative sign, so since 1 is an odd number, our answer is also going to be odd, or is going to be negative. Okay, example number 3, we have negative 81 divided by negative 9. And so let's go ahead and divide it. 81 divided by 9 gives us 9. And is our 9 going to be positive or negative? So let's go ahead and count our negative signs. We have 1, 2. And since 2 is an even number, our answer is going to be positive. Alright, number 4. We have negative 20 divided by negative 5. So let's go ahead and divide real quick. So 20 divided by 5 gives us 4. Now, is this going to be a positive 4 or negative 4? Let's go ahead and count our negative signs. We have 1, 2 negative signs, and since 2 is an even number, our answer is going to be positive. Okay, number 5. This one's a little bit different because, like in the last lesson, we had problems with variables. We're also going to have variables in this lesson as well. So let's go out and apply the same rules with these variables. Alright, so we have s divided by t. Now, we can't do it yet because we don't know what s and t are, but if we look over here to the right, we'll see that s is equal to negative 45 and t is equal to 5. So the first step we need to do is go ahead and plug in the numbers for our variables. So since s is equal to negative 45, I'm going to put it on top. Negative 45 divided by what t is, and t is equal to 5. So now we can go ahead and solve it. So if we have negative 45 divided by 5, we're going to get 9. And is our 9 going to be positive or negative? Let's count our signs. We have one negative sign, and since 1 is an odd number, our answer is going to be negative. Alright, let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit and go ahead and solve a word problem. So number 6 says, the low temperatures for 7 days in January in degrees Fahrenheit were negative 2, 0, 5, negative 1, negative 4, 2, and 0. Now, they want us to go ahead and find the average for the 7-day period. So, the first word that really stands out to me when I'm reading this word problem is the word average. So, we can't solve this problem until we know what an average is. So, if you remember, an average is you have to add up all of the numbers, so you'll get a list of numbers. So, you'll add them all up, and then you're going to divide by how many numbers you added up. So, we added up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So, we'll add up those numbers and then divide by 7. Because we want to find basically what is the average number, what number is kind of in the middle of all of these numbers. So let's go ahead and find the average of these 7 numbers. So let's go ahead and add them up first. So we have -2 plus 0 plus 5 minus 1 minus 4 plus 2 and plus 0. Alright, it's kind of long, so we're going to have to reference to the information we learned a few lessons back where we added and subtracted integers, because that's what we're going to be doing in here. And if you also remember that in the order of operations, whenever you have addition and subtraction, you start from the left and you work to the right. So let's go ahead and start from the left. We'll look at these first two. We have -2 plus 0. Now if you're adding 0 to anything, you're just going to keep with that number. So we have -2, then let's add on the rest, plus 5, minus 1, minus 4, plus 2, plus 0. So let's go ahead and move to the next two set of numbers. Alright, so if we have -2 plus 5, it will give us a positive 3. Because our the absolute value of 2 is smaller than the absolute value of 5, so we know that we need to take the sign of our bigger number, which is 5. So it'll be positive 3, minus 1, minus 4, plus 2, plus 0. Alright, so now let's go ahead and combine 3 and -1. So 3 minus 1 gives us 2, then minus 4 plus 2 plus 0, and then 2 minus 4 is going to give us a -2. A negative because our absolute value of -4 is bigger than the absolute value of 2. So we take that sign. We'll take the negative sign. Then plus 2 plus 0. So if you remember, -2 and 2 are called additive inverses, which means they're, the answer to that problem is always going to be 0. So -2 plus 2 gives us 0. Then plus 0 gives us 0. So that's a lot of adding and subtracting, but we have our final answer is 0. So now we need to go ahead and divide that 0 by 7. And if anytime you divide by 0, you're just going to get 0. So our answer is 0 degrees. So the average of all of these degrees is 0. So that's our answer. So we had to do a little bit of addition, subtraction, and division in this problem, and we got the average temperature. Alright, as always, make sure you have your notes done. You can go back through the chapter if you need to look at some more examples. But let's go ahead and do some practice problems on your own and see what you get for tomorrow. Alright, you have 4 problems to practice. Go ahead and try them out and see if you get the right answers tomorrow. Good luck.